Hi everyone, Will Greaves here, the Member of Parliament for Victoria. Instead of the regular weekly wrap, today I'm here to discuss with you events taking place in the Middle East. By now, many of you will have seen the news. The United States and Israel have launched military strikes on Iran. Hundreds have been killed, and the region is now at serious risk of a wider military escalation. I want to put Canada's response in context, because it matters. In January, at Davos, Prime Minister Mark Carney delivered a clear-eyed message about the world that we're in now. That the old international order is not coming back, and that middle powers like Canada must act together, because if we're not at the table, we will be on the menu. That was a big statement. It implies independence, consistency, and principled pragmatism in our foreign policy, even when it's uncomfortable. It was a powerful expression of Canada's place in a changed world, and I proudly support it. Today's statement from Canada about the US and Israeli strikes in Iran feels different, and many of you have reached out to me as your MP. I want to tell you that my core responsibility is to reflect the views of my constituents, and I want you to know that I'm listening and that I share many of your concerns. I will continue to advocate for three things. First, a consistent Canadian standard, one that applies the laws of war and the principle of protecting civilians, whether the actors are allies or adversaries. All states have an obligation to protect civilian life, and no state has the right to wage aggressive war. Second, urgent, active de-escalation through diplomacy. Canada working with partners to prevent a wider regional war and pushing every channel available, not just statements. International organizations like the UN are deeply flawed and have shown the limits of their effectiveness in this time. But there are still spaces where we can apply diplomatic pressure in support of civilian protection and humanitarian relief. Third, candor with Canadians. If, as the Prime Minister said at Davos, the old order is gone, then Canadians deserve to know what replaces it. What are our red lines? Which principles guide us? And in moments when the world is most dangerous, how do we avoid sliding into automatic alignment with countries that we can no longer trust and which do not have Canada's interests in mind? Listen, we can be clear-eyed about Iran's human rights record and its abuses and the destructive role that it has played in the Middle East and still insist on consistency, restraint, and the protection of civilians. Because that's what credibility looks like in a fractured world. But Canada cannot endorse the unilateral and illegal use of military force, the killing of civilians, or the kidnap and assassination of foreign heads of government, while also insisting that our sovereignty, our rights, and our independence must be respected. This is still a developing situation with a high level of volatility. Canada will continue to monitor and respond to events carefully. And I will keep listening, and I will keep advocating for a Canadian approach that's principled, pragmatic, and consistent, especially when the pressure on us from outside actors is highest.